Hey everybody, welcome on our channel. In this video we are gonna see, what if Naruto got harem with Ashoka, Aayla and Barris. Part 2. If you are new on the channel, don't forget to subscribe our channel and like the video too. So without wasting any more time, let's start the story. The fleet of separatist warships are seen flying through space. On board one is Count Dooku speaking to a hologram of Darth Sidious. Unray's capture will be a serious threat to us, my friend. The Viceroy will not last long under Jedi interrogation. Sidious stated. I have already put a plan into action, my lord. My best agent, Asajj Ventress and my best apprentice, Naruto Uzumaki, will infiltrate the Jedi ship and either free Gunray or silence him. Dooku said darkly. Ventress and Naruto. You are putting a great deal of faith in operative and an apprentice who have failed us in the past. Sidious said with anger in his old voice. Ventress is a gifted assassin and Naruto is a gifted Sith. You have my word, they will complete their mission to the letter. Dooku said with confidence. Very well, you may proceed. Sidious stated before cutting off his transmission, allowing for Dooku to stand. As soon as Dooku stood at full height, the doors behind him opened to reveal Naruto and Ventress. They walked in and stood behind Count Dooku. Master. They greeted Dooku in unison. There is no margin for error this time, children. You must prove yourselves worthy of being my apprentices. Dooku stated without looking at them. I am worthy. Ventress stated. As am I, Naruto said, not noticing the glare Ventress gave him. Ever since Naruto was trained by Dooku, he had always been his favorite. Worse yet, he was even better than her. He was faster, stronger, and even had abilities that made him even better. Even when they sparred he would beat her constantly. Now, she had to work alongside him, which really irritated her. Very well. Be off with you two then. Dooku ordered, Naruto and Ventress bowing before leaving. The Tranquility. Detention area. Captain Pharaoh Argus is seen walking toward the cell holding Nute Gunray. He walks up to one of Clone Guard's Commander Gree. How goes the interrogation, has the Viceroy cracked? Argus asked. Not yet. Nemoidians are a slippery lot, but the Jedi will wear him down. Gree replied as they watched from outside the cell. Your thoughts betray, Viceroy. I can sense your concern. The fear that you will lose the wealth and the power that the war has given you. Luminara said calmly. I have no idea what you're talking about. Gunray said nervously. You hide great many things. The names of your secret allies. The locations of their bases. Luminara continued. I am an innocent pawn in all of this. Gunray said, trying to save his life. If you're merely a pawn, then who are protecting? Luminara asked. No one. I know nothing. Gunray said, making Ashoka slam her hand on the table. Liar. Liar. I'm tired of all this whining. Ashoka yelled as she ignited her lightsaber before running over to Gunray and holding the blade to his neck. Tell us what we want to know right now or I will gut you like a Ricarian dirt fish. The threat made Gunray fall off his seat in fear before Luminara pulled Ashoka aside. Padawan, terror is not a weapon the Jedi use. Luminara scolded. I wasn't serious, but the only way he'll talk is if he's scared enough. Ashoka explained as they looked back at the Viceroy. Perhaps I was too hasty. Let us negotiate. Gunray said nervously. Ashoka and Luminara looked at each other until the ship shook. Captain, status report. Gree spoke into his communicator. Droid fighters, incoming. They brought boarding ships. The captain answered. Green Company, prepare to repel the enemy. Gree ordered from his communicator. Hangar Bay. With Commander Gree's order, clone troopers grabbed all of their gear and went to the hangar bay, where the boarding ships entered. As soon as they opened, multiple super battle droids came out and began firing on the clones. Clones and droids fired at each other left and right. One clone got behind cover and contacted Gree. Green Leader to Commander Gree. Super battle droids have breached our hail. Green Leader said before laying on the ground playing dead as the droids passed by him. He then lifted his head as he spoke again, not noticing a droid coming up behind him. Detention area. They're headed for the detention level. We need reinforcements, blast. Green Leader whispered before being blasted on the other end, surprising everyone listening. Commander, I'll need your assistance. Luminara said, getting a nod from Gree as he put his helmet on. Let's go. Ashoka said as she started following Luminara before she stopped her. You will stay here with Captain Argus. Guard the Viceroy. Luminara stated. But Ashoka began, but was stopped by Luminara's stare. As you wish, Master. It appears you are in no position to negotiate after all, Padawan. Perhaps, after my rescue, Gunray said, only to interrupted. Rescue? Maybe they're here to make sure you won't talk. Ashoka stated, making Gunray gulp at the high possibility. Hangar Bay. After the droids had pushed the clones back, the hangar became empty. However, Naruto and Ventress soon jumped out of one of the boarding ships and landed on the ground silently. As soon as they did, an injured clone was getting to his feet when he noticed them. At this, Ventress ignited her lightsabers and ran at the clone, who drew his blaster and started firing as he tried to contact the rest of the troops. "All units, there's a ball," the clone tried to say before being decapitated on the spot. Ventress looked on with satisfaction at her work before hearing slow clapping and a glare to Naruto. "Nicely done. I gotta say, you make quite the impression on men," Naruto said with amusement. Ventress was about to say something until the dead clone's communicator beeped. "Trooper, what have you found?" "Come in, Trooper, do you copy?" a clone asked, making Ventress look at the communicator with a smile before taking it and putting it on. Soon her and Naruto cut a hole in the ventilation system and entered it. They then listened to the clone's transmission. "Super battle droids are everywhere. Fall back to the detention level, we have to protect the prisoner," the clone ordered, making Naruto and Ventress smirk. "Well, that was a smart idea to take that communicator. I'm impressed," Naruto stated as he crawled behind Ventress. "Of course it was a smart idea, it was me who had it," Ventress stated, not bothering to turn to him. "Whatever, let's just get the Viceroy and get out of here," Naruto said with a sweat drop. I have a plan. You head to the engine room and set some explosives. In the meantime, I'll head to the detention level. Meet me there when you're done," Ventress said before going to the detention area without waiting for a reply from Naruto. "Geez, who died and put you in charge?" Naruto thought to himself before heading to the engine room. Engine room? Naruto made it to the engine room through an air vent and looked around. The doors to the room open below him and a repair droid comes inside. The switches on its headlights and looks around the room. When his lights pass the now closed air vent, he doesn't notice Naruto jump behind him before jumping away as the doors opened again, revealing 2 clone troopers. "See anything?" one clone asked the droid, getting beeps from it. "Engine room seems clear, we'll lock it down," the other clone spoke into his communicator. "Good, Captain. The enemy's advancing toward the detention level," a clone said over the transmission. "We're on our way," the captain stated as he and the other clone began to leave. "You keep watch here 327, the other clone said to the droid, annoying him. "Okay, 327T. You know droids never like to be called by their nicknames," the captain said before they left the room. After they left, Naruto began jumping around the droid and throwing explosives all around the engine room, the droid never noticing him. After he finished, Naruto crawled back inside the air vent and headed toward the detention area. Hallway near the detention area. Super battle droids and clones troopers are seen blasting at each other. However, the clones are boxed in. Just then, Luminar and Gree appear from the other hallway and start blasting or cutting through droids. Detention area. Ashoka is seen listening for any more signs of battle, but heard none before turning to Gunray with a confident expression. "Sounds like your rescue didn't work out after all," Ashoka said mockingly. "I am ready to discuss our bargain again," Gunray said in a defeated tone. "Adwintano, may I have a word?" Argus asked. "Certainly, Captain," Ashoka answered before turning to Gunray. "If I leave, you won't go anywhere, will you?" "Oh ha ha," Gunray said sarcastically. Ashoka then walked over to Argus. "I've got the all clear. The enemy has been repelled," Argus stated. "And their attempt to free Gunray has failed," Ashoka said slowly as 2 lightsaber blades cut through the ceiling. When the ceiling came down, Ventress jumped out and landed the 2 Senate commandos and quickly knocked them out. Ashoka quickly ignited her lightsaber and ran toward her before stopping at the doorway. "If it isn't the hairless harpy," Ashoka insulted. "If it isn't Skywalker's filthy obnoxious little pet," Ventress insulted back. "How nice of you. Tell you what, I'll give you a merciful death," Ashoka stated, ready for anything. Just then, Naruto came out of the ceiling and landed behind Ventress, making Ashoka's eyes widen, as well as his own. "Oh man, why did he or she have to be here?" both thought in unison. Naruto then gave Ashoka a small wave with what she could only guess was an odd look on his face. "Yo, what's up, GD? Long time no see," Naruto said with an eye smile. "Naruto?" Ashoka whispered. "Oh, so you two know each other. Good, keep her off me while I free Gunray," Ventress ordered, getting a nod from Naruto, who ignited his own lightsaber. Naruto quickly jumped at Ashoka with an overhead strike, to which she blocked. Ventress quickly ran past them with her lightsabers ignited. "Shoot her," Ashoka yelled before blocking a slash from Naruto. Argus and 2 other Senate commandos stepped in front of Ventress and started firing at her, only to have their shots deflected back them, with Argus using the shield over his left shoulder to block his shot. He continued to fire at Ventress, only for her to pick him up with the force and toss him over her and into a wall, knocking him out. "Over here. Open this door and I'll buy you a planet," Gunray called from the inside of his cell, making Ventress run toward him. Ashoka saw this, but was being held back by Naruto. However, she quickly kicked his leg out from under him, causing him to lose his balance and hit the ground. He was about to jump back to his feet, but Ashoka stepped on his back and ran towards Ventress. As she did, Ventress opened Gunray's cell. Ventress stepped out of the way, causing Ashoka to run inside the cell door before Ventress kicked her in. Gunray quickly ran out and closed the door, trapping Ashoka inside. Hahaha. Oh, yes, such delicious irony. How do you like your room now, youngling? Gunray asked mockingly as Ventress and the now standing Naruto stood behind him. Ahsoka's reply coming in the form of her slashing at the ray shield door. Not soon after, the elevator doors opened to reveal Luminara, who quickly noticed Gunray out of his cell and the Sith by his sides before running towards them, getting Ventress's and Naruto's attentions. Alt Sith. Luminara yelled as she ignited her lightsaber. Naruto and Ventress ignited their own, while Luminara used the force push the button for the cell door Ahsoka was, allowing her to strike at Naruto, who blocked. Ventress blocked a strike from Luminara before said Jedi saw that the troopers made it. Surrender. Luminara warned. Naruto and Ventress did as told as they deactivated their lightsabers and put their hands up. However, Luminara quickly noticed that a light was flashing on Ventress's wrist. The second, a large explosion rocked the ship, causing Ahsoka and the clones to fall, while Naruto force pushed Luminara to the ground. They quickly ran past the clones, who were trying to blast them. Ventress then opens the elevator doors with the force, where they ignite their lightsabers and use them to go down the shaft. Ahsoka and Luminara ran over and looked at each other. What are we waiting for? Ahsoka said as she was about to jump in. Ahsoka. Luminara warned as she grabbed her and pulled her back up just as an elevator went by. Thanks. Ahsoka said gratefully. Everything's running haywire. Doors, lifts. Communications down, propulsion's dead. They've crippled the entire ship. Arja said from the control panel. Our attackers have come for Gunray, stay here and guard him. I'll confront them myself. Luminara stated, surprising Ahsoka. Master, all due respect, Ventress is one thing, but Naruto is too powerful for any one Jedi to fight alone, and with him and Ventress working together, they're unpredictable. Please, let me help you. Ahsoka pleaded, making Luminara think before shaking her head. No, I am more than capable of dealing with an assassin armed with undisciplined fight skills and a Sith with little experience. Luminara explained. But Ahsoka tried to argue. Stay here and keep a clear head. Luminara said before jumping down the elevator shaft before kicking her feet off the edge and landing in a hallway full of dead clones and droids before heading down it. Detention area. Luminara Undley may be a Jedi master, but she has no idea what that Bog Witch and masked Sith are capable of, no idea. Ahsoka said as she paced around the room. I can't let her face those two alone. Wouldn't we have a better chance of stopping them if I helped? Sometimes, being a good soldier means doing what you think is right. That's why we're superior to droids. Arja stated, making Ahsoka think. I can't disobey a direct order and leave my post, can I? Ahsoka asked. I wouldn't. Gree replied. Don't worry, we've got this under control, Master Jedi. Your friend won't be going anywhere. Arja said confidently. All I know is, I never risk my own skin if I don't have to. Gunray stated, making Ahsoka look at him with a glare. What? Watch him closely. Ahsoka ordered. You can trust us, Commander. Arja stated. Call us if you need help, sir. Gree called as Ahsoka ran off. Engine room. Luminara entered the engine room, but didn't have to wait long before Ventress jumped at her from overhead. She quickly blocked the strike, but was caught off guard when Ventress cut a pipe right next to her, causing hot steam come out and burn Luminara's eye, forcing her to jump back. Naruto landed behind Luminara, forcing her to block his strike. It's just you? Where's Ahsoka? Naruto asked as their blades clashed again. Watching Gunray. Don't need help to fight a Sith who has little experience in fighting a Jedi master and an assassin with such poor fighting skills. Luminara said as she turned and blocked a strike from Ventress, while Naruto sighed. You might come to regret the Jedi. She would have been a big help to you since you're fighting two of us. Naruto said before jumping at Luminara. Luminara saw this, kicked away from her before using the force to catch Naruto and throw him back a good distance, making land on the wall and stay there, much to her surprise. Her surprise was short-lived when Ventress lashed at her before kneeing her in the face and sending her to the ground below. Ventress then jumped high over her downed form and various large pipes, causing them to fall all around Luminara. However, one pipe landed on her leg, pinning her to the ground as Ventress walked up toward her with Naruto landing behind her. Now you fall, as all Jedi must. Ventress said as she ignited her lightsabers, not noticing that Naruto had a thoughtful expression showing, even with his mask. I can't just watch her do this, I have to stop her, but if I do, damn, where's a miracle when you need one? Naruto thought to himself. His silent wish came in the form of Ahsoka appearing from the doorway just as Ventress jumped at Luminara. She force-pushed Ventress right past him and into a nearby pipe. Well, that had to hurt. Naruto commented before turning to see Ahsoka free Luminara. I know. You told me to stay. Ahsoka said as she handed Luminara her lightsaber. Well, as long as you're here. Luminara said gratefully. They then turned to Naruto, who watched them with amusement in his eyes. 2 against 1. I like those odds. Come on GD, show me what you've got. Naruto challenged before igniting his lightsaber. Naruto wait, you don't need to be a part of the Sith, you could be so much better than that. You can do so many amazing things that could help people. Ahsoka said, not wanting to fight Naruto. Oh, and just where are you going with this Ahsoka? Are you saying that I could just leave the Separatist Alliance and join the Republic? I'm sorry, but I can't just do that. The Separatists have been good to me over the last few years. Besides, how do I know that when you bring before the Jedi Council, that you just kill me? I'm sorry Ahsoka, but there's no reason for me to join you, the Jedi Order, or the Republic. Naruto stated, his words making Ahsoka desperate to stop him before Luminara put her hand on her shoulder. I'm sorry Ahsoka, but there's just no talking to a Sith. I'm afraid that we have no other option. Luminara stated as she ignited her lightsaber. Naruto then jumped at them. He struck at Luminara first before blocking a stab from Ahsoka. Luminara then kicked him away and charged at him, only for Naruto to force push her into Ahsoka. He panted for a bit before jumping off to hide in the engine room with Ventress appearing and doing the same. We have to find them, we can't let them get to Gunray. Luminara stated as she and Ahsoka jumped up to where Naruto and Ventress did. Neither of them noticed as Naruto stood upside down on the ceiling with his hand on his chest. What wrong with me? I'm off my game today. It's like Ahsoka's word stabbed me. No, it's more than that, but what? No, I can do this. I have to complete this mission or else, Master Dooku will have my head if Ventress and I fail. I just have to wait for the perfect opening to strike. Naruto thought as he watched Ahsoka and Luminara from overhead. Meanwhile, as Ventress watched from overhead as well, she pressed a button on her stolen clone communicator. Detention area. As Argus is seen with Commander Gree, along with 2 Senate commandos, his communicator starts beeping. What's that, Captain? One of the commandos asked. Oh, nothing to worry about. Argus answered before blasting the 2 of them, getting Gree's attention. What are you doing? Gree yelled before dodging behind a wall to avoid getting blasted. Argus then opened Gunray's door and pulled him out. Please don't. Gunray pleaded as Argus used him as a shield. Oh, do shut up. Count Dooku is paying me a fortune to deliver your slimy carcass, so please try to stay alive. Argus ordered as he and Gree traded shots. Engine room. As Ahsoka and Luminara look for Naruto and Ventress, they see some rubble moving and quickly move it out of the way to reveal the droid from earlier, to which they help him to treads, and he rolls away while they go back to searching. Ahsoka. Luminara began. What happened to Padawan Tano? Ahsoka asked. These 2, I've never faced any opponents like them. I should have listened to your advice. Luminara said with a downcast expression. Master, I never meant to overstep my bounds, but Ahsoka began, only to be interrupted. General Undley, we've been betrayed. Argus has freed Gunray. Gree stated from the communicator, surprising the 2 Jedi. I've been a fool. Luminara stated. Let's get back there. Ahsoka said as they began running, but were stopped when Naruto landed in front of them. We'll take him together. They all jumped at each other, Naruto blocked their combined slash with barely any effort. However, watching them from overhead was Ventress, who was glaring down at Naruto as he fought before a wicked smile graced her face as an idea came to her, but she would have to wait till later to do it. Detention area. Stop. This is your last warning. Gree threatened. Don't shoot, I am an innocent pawn. Gunray pleaded. He won't shoot, he doesn't want to damage his pride. Argus stated before Gree blasted his blaster out of his hand. Stand down, Captain. Gree ordered. Come and me. Argus said as he tightened his hold on Gunray's neck. Gree walked over slowly, but Argus pushed Gunray into him. When Gree moved the Viceroy out of his way, Argus kicked his blaster out his hand and his helmet off. They then stared at each other, daring the other to make the next move. Engine room. Ahsoka and Luminara were slashing at Naruto from all sides, but were getting nowhere as he continued to block or dodge. Naruto then jumped back and threw various debris at them with the Force, trying to hit them, until Luminara stopped one and Force pushed it back at him. At this, Naruto jumped over it and ran at them with inhuman speed. Detention area. Would you do it, Argus? Gree asked as he and Argus circled each other. The clone-like would never understand. I wanted a life more than empty servitude. Argus answered. And for that you'd betray the Republic. Gree stated with anger. Like told the Padawan. Sometimes, being a good soldier means doing what you think is right. Argus went to grab the blaster, only for Gree to step on it and punch Argus in the face, knocking him to the ground before picking up the blaster. You and I disagree on what makes a good soldier. Gree said before being hit in the back of the head by Gunray, knocking him out as Argus rightened himself up. You should have taken my offer when you had the chance, clone. Gunray mocked as Argus pressed a button on his communicator, letting Ventress know that Gunray was freed. Engine room. As Ventress watched Naruto fight the Jedi, she saw that her communicator was blinking and smiled evilly before jumping and landing behind Naruto, who was pushed back by Luminara. About time, Ventress. What took you so long? Naruto asked playfully, not noticing Ventress point her lightsabers at his back. Before Naruto knew what happened, his eyes widened in shock as pain coursed through his gut. In front of him, Luminara had a shocked expression, while Ashoka looked horrified at what she was looking at. Naruto looked down and saw 2 red lightsaber blades had pierced him through the stomach. Looking back, he saw Ventress with a triumphant look on her face as she pulled her blades out of Naruto. Ventress, why? Naruto asked before dropping his lightsaber and falling to the ground. Naruto. Ashoka yelled, running to his side, while Ventress took the opportunity to jump up to the air vent and escape while she could, but not before throwing an explosive behind her. At this, Luminara used the force to pull Naruto and Ashoka over to her and out of the exit. Ashoka got to her knees and desperately checked to see if Naruto was still alive and released a breath when she found one, meaning that he was unconscious before turning to Luminara. Master, please, get a medic for him. Please. Ashoka pleaded. Luminara thought she was crazy, but did as her friend asked by speaking into her communicator. Meanwhile, Argus and Gunray had gotten to a Republic cruiser. The outer shields are still down, the ship is still in turmoil. We're home free. Argus stated before launching the ship. Meanwhile, Ventress has used an escape pod to escape and boarded the cruiser. When she entered the bridge, she saw Argus and Gunray at the controls. Hello, assassin, and say where's the Sith at? Argus asked. Dead? The Jedi killed him before I could rescue him in time. Ventress answered, holding back her smile. I see, I'm sorry to hear that. In any case, assassin. Our plan went off without a hitch. Argus said smugly. Our plan? Ventress questioned. And I will, of course, make sure your contributions are noted on my report to Count Dooku. Argus said confidently before Ventress ignited her lightsaber and through his chest. I'll tell him myself. Ventress said coldly as she turned off her lightsaber and moved the captain's body out of the way before getting in his seat. Greetings, Viceroy. I always had a good feeling about you, assassin. Gunray stated, not wanting to get on her bad side as they jumped into hyperspace. The Tranquility. Medical Bay. After a brief discussion with Anakin Skywalker and Master Yoda about Kit Fisto being sent to search for Gunray, Ashoka sat in a seat next to Naruto's bed. He had wrapped around the area where Ventress stabbed him with his tunic off, and the shirt connected to his mask was lifted up to just under his chest. Ashoka didn't know why she was worried about him, but she was, and she would worry about such things later, but for now, she would watch over Naruto until he woke up. I'd better soon, Naruto, don't die yet. Ashoka said as she watched him sleep, hoping that he wakes up soon. As Ashoka sat next to Naruto's bed as he slept, she took in his appearance. With his red and black tunic top off, Ashoka saw that the mask he always wore was attached to a tight sleeveless shirt that was currently rolled up to his chest. Ashoka couldn't help but blush at his lean muscles, even if she could only see a little bit of them. However, Ahsoka's attention was on his face more. She wondered what he looked like under the mask and if he was as handsome as he was well built. I wonder what he looks like without that mask. Ashoka thought as she reached to take the mask off. Unknown to her, Naruto was having a conversation with a certain giant nine-tailed fox inside his mindscape. Naruto's mindscape. Wake up, child. A demonic voice bellowed to an unconscious Naruto. Naruto was currently lying in a dark and dampened sewer with a giant cage in front of him. Wake up, child. The voice bellowed again, but more loudly. Naruto stirred for a bit but did not wake up as he lied on the wet ground, making the voice growl. Hey, I said wake the hell up, you little brat. The voice yelled, making Naruto jump to his feet in shock as he got into a fighting stance and looking around, but not seeing anything and realized where he was. What? Why am I in my mindscape? Naruto asked himself before remembering the events with Ventress and growled in anger. Grrr, that's right, now I remember. That bold bitch, how could she do that to me? Wait, how am I still alive then if she stabbed me? Naruto questioned. I think I can answer that, Kit. The voice said, getting Naruto to look up and see Kurama, who was giving him a grin. Hey there, Kit, long time no see. You haven't talked to me in a while. Sorry about that, I just thought that you were asleep ever since that incident with me and Master Dooku. Naruto said with an apologetic expression. Ever since Naruto started his Sith training, Dooku helped him with his meditation. In his meditation sessions, Naruto would find himself in his mindscape and speak with Kurama, who had over time come to like each other. However, before recent events, Naruto had not had much time to speak to him. True, but in my defense, no one uses force lightning on my kit and gets away with it. Also, can you even call that old fossil master once that witch of a bitch tells him you're dead? I doubt that he's going to care what happens to you. Kurama stated, making Naruto sigh at the possibility. I guess you're right, but I don't have anywhere else to go. Naruto said sadly, but noticed that Kurama had a thoughtful look on his face. Well, I'm just throwing this out there, but what about the Jedi temple on Coruscant? It might take you in. Kurama said, making Naruto cross his arms. Yeah, take me in and either put me in a cell for the rest of my life or kill me. Naruto said before looking at the fox again. Wait, you said that you knew how I'm still alive, so tell me. Well, let's just say that pretty little Tigrita Padawan had asked the Jedi Master to save you. Also, can I just say that you have quite the taste in women? Kurama said with a perverted grin, making Naruto blush at what the fox implied before the first half got him. Wait, Ashoka saved my life. Why? Naruto asked, not understanding why a Jedi would save him. Beats me. For all I know, it was to get any separatist information you have from you. Kurama said with a shrug. Anyway, you're waking up, so I'll be taking a nap for now. Try not to wind up on death's door again. Naruto nodded before disappearing from his mindscape. Outside Naruto's mindscape, Ashoka had a blush on her face as she had slid down Naruto's mask to reveal his face. She blushed because of his cute whisker marks that she was not expecting. So cute. I wonder, are those real or fake? Ashoka thought before looking around to make sure no one was around watching her before rubbing Naruto's cheek gently. What she wasn't expecting was for Naruto to purr and lean into it, making Ashoka blush even more. He's enjoying this. Ashoka thought before smiling and continued rubbing his cheek. However, at that very moment, Naruto opened his eyes and he stared into the eyes of Ashoka, with said Padawan doing the same. Then, they noticed the post-ion they were in and blushed like mad. HHHHH. They both yelled in unison as Ashoka jumped away and Naruto fell off the bed. At that moment, Gree and 3 other clones came in, blasters at the ready. As the 3 aimed their blasters at a panting Naruto, who was sitting on the ground with a blush on his face, Gree turned to Ashoka, who was holding her chest with a blush on her face as well. Commander, we heard you yell. Is everything okay in here? Gree asked. Yeah. Everything's fine, Commander. I was just surprised when the Sith woke up, that's all. Ashoka answered, trying to get control of her blush. Yeah, and I guess that I was just surprised to see someone watching me when I woke up. Naruto said as he rubbed the back of his head, only to have Gree point his blaster at him. Quiet Sith, I didn't ask you. Gree said angrily. However, Luminara stepped in and put a hand on his shoulder, getting his attention. Calm yourself, Commander, the Sith may be dangerous, but is in no condition to fight at the moment. You and your men can go now, but stay outside the room. Luminara ordered, getting a nod from Gree and the clones as they walked outside and shut the door behind them. Luminara then turned to Naruto, who was giving her a weary look. It's alright Sith, I'm not here to kill or interrogate you. Luminara stated, calming Naruto down a bit. Well, I kinda figured that since you guys saved me. Though, I'm sure why you would. Naruto said as Ashoka walked over and smiled. Well, it was kinda my idea to save you. I'm not sure about anyone else, but to me, you're not like any separatist or Sith we've faced. Ashoka said kindly. Indeed, but I am still skeptical of your intentions. Luminara stated. That makes sense. After all, I'm an enemy and can't just be trusted so easily. Though, the least you could do is use my name. If there's one thing I hate, it's titles. Naruto said as he got off the ground, making both Jedi raise a brow at how he's able to stand with his injury. Very well, Uzumaki. If you don't mind, how are you able to stand after receiving an injury like the one you have? Luminara asked. Well, I've always been a fast healer. Naruto said with his foxy grin, unknowingly making Ashoka blush. Before Luminara could respond, her communicator went off as a clone's voice came through. General Unduli, we've arrived to Coruscant and your shuttle is prepped and ready to go. The clone stated. Very good, Captain, we'll be down there momentarily. Luminara stated as she ended the transmission and turned back to Naruto. You might want get dressed, Uzumaki, we're leaving in a few minutes. And might I ask where we're going? Naruto asked with his back to them, taking off his bandages, showing that the lightsaber marks that were in his back were gone before pulling down his shirt and putting on his tunic, but keeping the mask off. The Jedi Temple. Ashoka answered, making Naruto jaw drop. What, are you serious? Naruto yelled in surprise, getting a nod from the Jedi. Well, that's great. Geez, I might as well paint a target on my back and write kill me on my forehead right now then. Don't worry Naruto, we asked Master Yoda to have the council speak to you before they judge you. Ashoka said with a reassuring smile. Naruto looked into her eyes and looked for any deception, but when he saw none, he smiled back. Okay, I'll speak to them and behave myself, but I can't promise anything. Naruto said with amusement as he put his hand on his hip but noticed that something was missing. I don't suppose either of you know where my lightsaber is, do you? Yeah, I've got it right here. Ashoka said as she put her hand on Naruto's lightsaber that was currently on belt. Oh, I see. Make sure I can't use my lightsaber to keep me from trying anything, smart. Naruto said with a shrug, knowing that he didn't need his lightsaber to fight. Indeed. Now, if you don't mind, we have a shuttle to get to. Luminara said calmly, getting nods from both Naruto and Ashoka. GD Temple. Landing platform. After the shuttle left the cruiser, it flew for a bit over the city before landing on a platform at the GD Temple. When the doors opened and the ramp came down, Luminara and Ashoka stepped out, followed by Naruto, who was handcuffed. When they stepped off, they were greeted by Anakin, who glared at Naruto before turning to his fellow GD. Master Unduli, Ashoka, it's good to see you two are okay. It's also good news to know that you captured the Sith. Anakin stated, making Naruto raise a brow. Captured? Naruto questioned before sighing. Yeah, captured, sure. Master Skywalker, if you and Ashoka would gather the GD Council. I'm sure that they have questions for our friend here, will I escort him to the detention center? Luminara asked, getting a nod from the two. Yes, master. Come on Snips. Anakin said as he walked off with Ashoka following, but not before flashing Naruto a glance as they left. Huh, that was weird. I could have sworn that I saw something in her eyes just then. It looked like a mix between worry and joy. Naruto thought as he and Luminara walked inside the temple. GD Temple. Hallway. While Luminara was leading Naruto to the detention center of the temple, said blonde couldn't help but look around and admire the incredible beauty and architecture of the complex. Unknown to Naruto, Luminara was watching him from the corner of her eye with a smile before speaking. I see that you're admiring the temple, young one. Luminara said, making Naruto turn to her. Yeah, well, it definitely beats the dark and gloomy atmosphere Master Dooku's hideout always has. Naruto stated. That's good to hear, but do try to stay close. The last thing we'd want is for the entire temple trying to hunt you down. Luminara said with amusement, making Naruto chuckle. However, they came to a stop as a young GD walked up to Luminara. Greetings master, it's good to see you're back. The GD said with a smile, not noticing Naruto standing behind Luminara. And to you as well Barris. As much as I'd enjoy speaking with you, I must get our friend here to the detention center at once. Luminara stated, making Barris raise a curious brow. Friend? What friend? Barris asked. Her answer came in the form of Naruto stepping out from behind Luminara, catching Barris by surprise. That would be me. Naruto greeted with his foxy grin, making Barris stare at him with an unseen blush on her green cheeks as various thoughts went through her head. So hot. Barris mentally yelled, never seeing anyone like Naruto before in her life. Barris was broken out of her thoughts by Naruto's voice. Are you okay? You've been staring at me without saying anything. Naruto asked, making Barris give him a quick bow. I'm sorry. My name is Barris Afi, it's nice to meet you. Barris paused to get his name. The name's Naruto Uzumaki, nice to meet you Barris Afi. Naruto said with his own bow, not noticing Barris's widen. You mean, the Sith Naruto Uzumaki? Barris asked in a shaky voice, making Naruto look at before sighing. Yeah, that Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto answered, surprising Barris. Great, now she's afraid of me. Too bad, she's pretty cute. Wait, would I think that? Well, I think that since introductions are out of the way, I should get Uzumaki here to his cell. Luminara stated, getting a nod from Barris before she and Naruto walked off, neither seeing Barris turn and watch Naruto's back. That was the Sith. But he looks nothing like what I imagined. He's more handsome than I. Wait, what am I saying? I need to go meditate on this. Barris thought before heading to her quarters. GD Temple. Detention Center. Luminara and Naruto are seen walking down a hallway with cell doors on both sides. They then saw a temple guard standing at a door with his arms crossed before turning to them. Even with the mask on, Naruto could tell that the guy was glaring at him. Hello Master Unduli, I'll take it from here. The Sith cell is already prepared. The guard said, opening the cell door while Luminara took off Naruto's cuffs. Very good. Luminara said before turning to Naruto. Try to keep calm young one, the council will speak to you before they decide to do anything. So, try to relax until then. I'll try, but it's kinda hard to do when everyone in an entire building would rather kill you than talk to you. Naruto said as he walked inside his cell, the doors slitting shut behind him. Luminara had to frown at his words, but knew that he did have a point. It can't be easy to be under the same roof as people who wouldn't hesitate to kill you. Relax, he's not going anywhere. Until the council says otherwise, he's not leaving the cell. The guard stated, getting a nod from Luminara before she left. Later, Naruto was lying on his bed inside his cell with a bored expression on his face. He had been waiting for an hour and a half and the council still hadn't called him. Geez, you'd think that for masters of the force, that they wouldn't keep people waiting for hours just to speak to them. Naruto said to himself before an idea came to him along with a Cheshire smile as he stood up. Well, if they're not going to come to me, I'll go to them. I know I told Ashoka that I'd behave, but waiting for hours just isn't my thing. Naruto then walked over to the door and banged on it, getting the guard's attention. What do you want, Sith? The guard asked in irritation. I'm hungry, how's about getting me something to eat? I know I'm a prisoner, but that doesn't mean you can't feed me. Naruto answered, making the guard groan from the other side. Fine, but if you try anything, the guard warned, letting the threat hang before walking off. Yeah, I get it. Now, all I have to do is wait. Naruto whispered to himself. A minute later, the guard came back with a ration bar. When he opened the door, he was shocked that the Sith was gone. But where'd he go? The guard questioned, but before he realized it, Naruto jumped from the ceiling on top of him and knocked him out. When the guard fell, Naruto dragged him inside. He then stuck his head out to see if anyone saw him, but to his luck, no one was around at the moment. He walked out before turning to the unconscious guard. Sorry, but I'm sure that you'll forgive me in the future. Naruto said before taking a bite of the ration bar the guard had brought him as he shut the door. Thanks for the food though. Naruto then thought for a minute as he finished the bar. Now then, I need to find the Jedi Council chamber. Damn, I probably should have asked that guard. Oh well, I guess I'll just have to wing it and hope I find it. In the meantime, I better avoid any Jedi. Naruto said as he walked in a random direction of the hallway. However, a few minutes after he left, Anakin and Ashoka came and opened his cell door, but were shocked to see an unconscious guard. Snips, I thought you said that he wouldn't try to escape. Anakin asked angrily. I did, but I don't know where he is. Ashoka said, trying to defend Naruto, but was curious as to where he went. Obi-Wan, come in. Anakin called into his communicator. Yes, what is it, Anakin? Obi-Wan asked. The Sith escaped his cell and is somewhere inside the temple. Anakin answered. Escaped? Well, he couldn't have gotten far. You and Ashoka look for him, while a few of the masters and I search through the security recordings. Obi-Wan said. Understood, Obi-Wan. Come, Snips. Anakin ordered as he walked off, not noticing Ahsoka's worried expression. Naruto, where are you? Ashoka thought before following her master. Jedi Temple. Accommodation area. Naruto had been walking around for a while and also avoiding various Jedi left and right. Unfortunately, he had no idea where he was. Man, this place is huge. At this rate, I'll never find the Jedi Council chambers. Would it kill them to put in signs or something? Naruto said to himself as he walked down a hall with various doors that led to who knows where. I think I heard something this way, come on. Someone yelled from around a corner. They soon came around said corner, revealing them to be several temple guards, who soon noticed Naruto. There's the Sith, capture him. One yelled as they ran at Naruto. Naruto's eyes widened before he turned around and ran down the hall from them. Damn, I guess they found out that I broke out of my cell, but they found out faster than I thought they would. Naruto said as he ran around a corner, but stopped seeing more guards. Thankfully, their backs were turned and standing on the other side of the hall. However, the ones chasing him were not far behind. Thinking fast, Naruto opened the nearest door and ran inside, shutting the door behind him. He put his ear to the door and listened as the guards ran by. Sighing in relief, Naruto then took in his surroundings. He was in an apartment-sized room that was big enough to house 1 or 2 Jedi. There was a window with the blinds closed, some round cushioned seats around a table, a bed, some doors, and a dresser. On the walls were pictures of 2 people, obviously Jedi. One was a human male with braided black hair and yellow marking on his face. Obviously a master and a Padawan. The other was a beautiful Twi'lek female with blue skin and brown eyes. Whoa, she's beautiful. Naruto thought before shaking his head. What am I doing? I don't have time to ogle, I need find a way to get to the council chambers without getting caught. Naruto then walked in a little more before a thought came to him. I wonder whose room this is anyway? Naruto questioned. His answer came in the form of a door opening behind him. Turning around, Naruto's cheeks flushed red and he had to suppress a nosebleed. The door that opened was the bathroom door and the person that walked out was the Twi'lek from the photos. She was dripping wet with nothing but a towel on that was wrapped around her chest down to her thighs. When she noticed Naruto, her eyes widened in surprise. At this, Naruto raised his hand slowly while sweat formed on his head. Okay, I know this seems bad, but Naruto started, but before he could finish, he saw that she was about to scream. Reacting on instinct, Naruto ran at her and covered her mouth. Unfortunately, he accidentally tripped and caused them to fall to the side and onto her bed. She began to struggle, but Naruto held her mouth with one hand while he forced her hands down so she wouldn't hit him. After a few more seconds, she stopped struggling. Naruto then looked her in the eyes and saw fear, sadness, and hate, making his eyes widen. Obviously, she was thinking he was going to rape her because tears were starting to form in her eyes. Oh man, she thinks I'm going to rape her. This is bad, I've got to defuse the situation here before something worse happens. Naruto thought as he took a deep breath before speaking. Hey, it's okay, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just looking for the GD council chambers and I got lost. I swear, me walking in here was a complete accident. Hearing his words, the Twi'lek woman looked into his eyes for any deception, but saw only honesty. He then spoke again. Now, I'm going to let you go, but only if you promise not to scream or attack me. Understand? Nod once for yes, two for no. Naruto stated and received one nod. He let her go, but was punched in the face, making him rub his cheek. Ouch. I thought I said not to attack me. Naruto said as he held his whiskered cheek. That was for seeing me like this. The Twi'lek stated, indicating to her towel. Naruto blushed at this before rubbing the back of his head in embarrassment. Oh, sorry about that, but you were going to scream and I reacted on instinct. My bad. Naruto apologized. Apology accepted. Now, could you please get off of me? This isn't the most appropriate of positions to be in. The Twi'lek said with a blush on her cheeks. Naruto then noticed their position and blushed as well before jumping off. Sorry. Naruto said as he waved his hands in front of him as the Twi'lek got up. It's okay. Just don't ever do it again. Now, if you'd let me get dressed so I can escort you to the council chambers. The Twi'lek said as she walked over to her dresser. If you don't mind, could I just turn around while you get dressed? I promise not to peek. Naruto said with a cute pout that made the Twi'lek sweat before nodding in defeat, but watched him as he turned his back to her. So, what's your name? Aayla Sakura. And you are? The now named Aayla asked as she put on her bra and panties, not that Naruto noticed. Kit Yuzuki. Nice to meet you Master Sakura. Naruto answered, coming up with a good fake name. Well Kit, you certainly know how to make a first impression. Aayla said, getting her shirt and pants on before slipping on her belt and boots. Yeah, I get that a lot. Naruto said with a chuckle. Well, I'm ready. We can go now. Aayla said as she walked past Naruto, making blush at her clothes, but quickly got over it as she opened her door and followed her out. As they left her room, they didn't notice a security camera watching them. Security recording room. Well, it looks like we found our Sith. Obi-Wan said as he and Masters Plo Koon and Shakti watched Naruto and Aayla walk in hologram form. Indeed, and since she's bring him to the council chambers, we might as well get there and wait for them. Plo said, getting a nod from his fellow masters before leaving the room. However, Shakti watched the hologram a little longer before a thought came to her. Well, I guess now I can take him up on that date. I know GD are not allowed to form attachments, but I can't help my curiosity about him. Shakti thought before leaving the room. Sereno. Count Dooku's castle. Ventress was kneeling in front of Count Dooku. She had just finished her report about freeing Nute Gunray, but at the cost of Naruto's life. So, Naruto was killed was he? Dooku asked. Yes my lord. He fought bravely, but in the end, he was no match for the combined efforts of the GD. Ventress said sadly. That is sad to hear and here I thought he was powerful. Dooku said coldly, not caring in the least about his apprentice's death. Why not just go to his homeworld and find another one like him? Ventress asked. Impossible. After I left with him, the GD had arrived and the planet joined the Republic. I tried to convince the senator of that planet to join the Separatist Alliance, but to no avail. I would have killed him, but the people on that planet are all far more powerful than anyone I have encountered before. Dooku replied, catching Ventress's curiosity. Just how powerful could this person be if he's a senator? Ventress asked, not believing someone being stronger than a GD or Sith. If I remember correctly, his name was Jiraiya of the Sannin. Dooku answered. Coruscant. Senate building. Said man sneezed, getting the senators he was speaking with to turn to him. Are you okay Lord Jiraiya? Padme asked her fellow senator. Yeah, I'm fine. I get someone must be talking about me. Jiraiya said with his laugh before he and the other senators continued their meeting about trying to make peace with the separatists. Naruto and Aayla had walked for a while throughout the temple. Lucky for Naruto, not many guards knew what he looked like. During their walk, they had started a conversation that they both enjoyed. Naruto actually learned that the guy in the photos with back in her room was Ayla's former master, Quinlan Vos. While Aayla still believed him to be Kit, she did enjoy his company. To her, he was just as free-spirited as her former master and just as humorous as either Kenobi or Skywalker. Aayla would never admit this to anyone, but she was glad that she met Kit. Some might not have approved of how they met, but she would say otherwise. They soon made it to the council chambers. When they opened the doors, they were greeted to the sight of 12 people of various races, with 2 of them as holograms, sitting in a circle of chairs. However, Naruto saw that some of them were glaring at him, while others were giving him a calculating look. Looking around more, Naruto recognized Shakti, who was giving him a small smile. Naruto and Aayla soon stepped inside and closed the doors behind them. They both bowed to the council before raising back up. "Hello, masters. I'm sorry to disturb you, but my new friend Kit here wished to speak to you," Aayla said, indicating to Naruto, who nodded. The masters all looked at each other before turning back to the two. "Well, it's nice to meet you, Kit, but I think that it would be kind of you to tell us your real name rather than your fake one," Obi-Wan said, making Aayla raise a brow and Naruto sweat. "Real name? Kit, what are they talking about?" Aayla asked, not understanding why the one she'd been talking to had a fake name the whole time. Well, don't get mad or anything, Master Sakura, but I haven't been entirely truthful with you," Naruto said as he rubbed the back of his head as Aayla gave him a wary look. "My name isn't Kit, it's Naruto Uzumaki." At his words, Ayla's eyes widened in shock. The one she had been talking to this whole time was the Sith that she had heard about. How could she not have known? He was right next to her, but even then she couldn't feel anything dark surrounding him, only the light of the Force. "You're the Sith. But you're not at all what I had expected," Aayla said, making Naruto rub the back of his head. "Yeah, well, I guess since the secret's out I might as well have told you the truth now rather than later. If you want to hit me, you're more than welcome to," Naruto stated, making Ayla's eyes widen. "He's actually willing to let me hit him. But why?" Well, since he hasn't done anything to me that I wouldn't appreciate," Aayla thought before shaking her head. "No, I couldn't. Even though you're the Sith I've heard about, I have heard some good things about you," Aayla said, trying to avoid hitting someone in front of the entire council, but she also wouldn't do it for some other reason that she couldn't figure out. At that time, Master Yoda spoke up. "Indeed, a Sith you may be, but have the heart of a Jedi, you do," Yoda stated, making Naruto rub the back of his head. "With a due respect, Master Yoda, I'm not a Jedi. I'm a Sith, and as a Sith I'm not anything like a Jedi," Naruto stated. "Indeed," Obi-Wan said, getting their attentions. "But I believe that Master Shakti might say otherwise." Shakti nodded before a hologram appeared in the center of the room showing Naruto helping fight the nest of Acklays. Everyone watched in curiosity as the hologram played. It played up to after the part where Naruto saved Shakti, which she had thanked him for again before the hologram ended. "As you all can see, not only does the Sith rescue me, but also the rest of my men as well," Shakti stated. "That may be, but nevertheless, he could have done so with alternative motives," May stated, getting nods from some of the other masters. "True, this may be. However, ask for nothing in return, he did not. Left peacefully, he did," Yoda stated, getting agreeing nods from the masters. "Master Yoda has a point. If the young Sith here wanted anything, he would have asked or just taken it. Not to mention that he could have just let the Acklays kill Master Shakti, but did not," Plo said, getting an agreeing nod from said master. Before anyone could say something else, Anakin and Ashoka walked in. "I'm sorry, masters, but we've been unable to find the Sith," Anakin stated, him and Ashoka looking ashamed before they heard a chuckle. "Oh, you mean the Sith that's standing right in front of you?" Obi-Wan asked, making Anakin and Ashoka shoot their heads up in surprise and came face to face with Naruto. "Yo, what's up, Skywalker, Ashoka?" Naruto said with a friendly wave and smile. "Naruto?" How Ashoka tried to say, but couldn't figure out the right thing to ask. What can I say, I'm not one to stay in one place for hours on end. Which reminds me, you guys need speed up your appointments with people," Naruto said with amusement and chuckles from 2 or 3 of the Jedi present. "Noted. Now, if we can get back to the matter at hand," Mace asked, getting everyone's attention. "Good, now, I'm sure the rest of the council has this on their minds. What precisely is your view of the Jedi Code?" The room grew silent at the question. No one had planned on asking that until later, but now seemed like the best time to find out just what the Sith before them thought. Even Anakin and Aayla listened very intently. Though, Ashoka was a little worried about what Naruto would say. His words would determine his fate. "Before I answer that, I have a question of my own. None of you have to answer this now, or ever for that matter. But, know that none of your responses will change my point of view toward the Jedi Code," Naruto stated calmly, wanting to know just how they felt about their own code. "Very well, ask your question." Mei said, curious to see what the blonde would ask, but had a feeling he already knew. Thank you. You Jedi claim to be peacekeepers. You claim to not to have certain emotions or form attachments. Naruto began, making Ashoka sweat. Oh no. He's not going to say the same thing he said to me, is he? Naruto, I hope you know what you're doing, because if you don't, the council will have you. Oh, I don't even want to think about it. Ashoka thought in fear of what he was about to say. Well, to me, you're all hypocrites to your own ways. Naruto stated, making some of the Jedi lightly gasp in surprise, while others either glared at him or stayed neutral. One Jedi spoke up with obvious anger in his voice. And pray tell boy, just how are we hypocrites? Jedi Master Even Peel asked in his rough voice. I don't mean to offend, but what I say is true. Tell me Jedi, how are you peacekeepers if you fight in a galactic war when you're leading an army of clones? How can you say that you forbid emotions when you all know well and good that you can't stop yourselves from having them? And how can you say that you don't form attachments when each and every one of you know damn well that you form attachments with either your men, friends, and even your fellow Jedi? Naruto questioned and waited for an answer. They were all wide-eyed at his words and tried to think of a way to answer his questions. Sadly, all of them were unable to even come up with some way to argue with his words. Even Master Yoda couldn't think of a way to argue with the blonde. Though, he had a feeling that his speech didn't end there. Before I ask my next question, let me continue. If any of you have something say about what I said, then say it now. If not, then stay silent and listen. Naruto waited, but saw that none of the masters had anything to say. No. No one at all. Good. None of you can be called peacekeepers if you fight in a war and take people's lives. None of you can stop someone from having emotions, because emotions are what separates living beings from droids. And now the part that makes you weak. If you don't form attachments, then what is there to fight for? If you die, what would it have been worth? If you don't have something to protect, fight for, or die for, then who would remember you? To me, it sounds more like you're nothing but tools that are only used until you've outlived your usefulness. Man, that's so wrong, just so wrong. That is not balance. At this point, all of the Jedi in the room had looks of realization, surprise, and shame on their faces. Each and every word he spoke cut deeply into their very souls. Everything he said was true. How could they say that they were not tools without sounding desperate? What was the point of them fighting if they die for a war that has no end? Without emotions, could they really say that they were nothing like droids? So, that's what he thinks of the Jedi Code. I never would have thought of it like that before. Ashoka thought, along with several of the masters. Now for my question. Can any of you actually sit in your seat and say, without any hesitation or doubt, that you would continue to follow your Jedi Code if it meant that you become nothing more than shadows of yourselves? In short, to give up life itself for a corrupted code? Naruto asked with complete seriousness. You ask me what I think of you code. What I think? No, what I know is that the Jedi are tied down by their code and can't really see the big picture, even when it's right in front of them. Someone once told me that if a person wants to protect something that is precious to them, that is when they can become truly strong. I took their words to heart and chose to protect everyone that is precious to me. You Jedi might think that silly, but what would any of you possibly know since you say that you don't form attachments? If I'm wrong to believe that I can protect anyone precious to me, then I don't care to know what right is. All of the Jedi actually had to think on Naruto's words, but nobody said anything. They had all just been silenced by one person and with nothing but his words. Then finally, Master Yoda spoke. Naruto Uzumaki, an interesting one, you are. Powerful with both your words and the Force, you are. Intrigued by your words, we are. Sure, I am, have your own view of the Sith Code, you do. For now Naruto Uzumaki, a discussion the council must have. Wait outside, if you, Master Skywalker, Master Sakura, and Padawan Tano will? Yoda asked, getting a nod from them before they left. Once they were gone, Obi-Wan turned to Yoda and Mace. Well, he certainly has a way with words. Obi-Wan quipped. Indeed. Mace agreed. While they spoke, Shakti had channeled them out to think to herself. My, you most certainly are not a regular person Naruto Uzumaki. No one has ever spoken to the council in such a way and silenced them. Someone speaking with such conviction, heart and power is to both admired and feared. Naruto Uzumaki, when I get the chance, I'll take you up on that date. Shakti thought while keeping her emotions in check. A few minutes later, Naruto and the rest had been called back inside the council room. Naruto Uzumaki, the Jedi Council has come to a decision, which will soon be decided after a few simple questions. Mei stated, getting a nod from Naruto. Good. First, do you hold any malicious intentions towards the Jedi Order? No. Naruto said simply. If we ask you for any vital information on the whereabouts of Count Dooku, will answer? Mace asked. Yes. Naruto said simply again. Lastly, if you have any secrets that are important for us to know about, would you be willing to tell us? Mace asked. Not now. Like you have little trust toward me, you haven't fully earned my trust. Naruto stated. The council all looked to each other before turning back to the blonde while Mace spoke. Very well, all those in favor of making Naruto Uzumaki a Jedi, say aye. All those opposed, say nay. Mace stated, surprising Naruto, Ashoka, Aayla, and Anakin. Aye. Shakti said first. Aye. Obi-Wan Kenobi said second. Nay. Appa Ransisa said third. Aye. Plo Koon said fourth. Nay. CC Tien said fifth. Aye. Kit Fisto said sixth in his holographic form. Nay. Eve Koth said seventh. Nay. Even Peel said eighth. Aye. Adi Gallia said ninth. Aye. Coyote Mundi said 10th in his holographic form. Decided, it is. Naruto Uzumaki, from this day on, a Jedi of the Republic, you shall be. Yoda stated. Anakin, Ahsoka, and Aayla were shocked to hear this, but on the end, Ahsoka and Aayla were ecstatic, but they had no idea why. Naruto on the other hand was the most shocked. Not too long ago he was a Sith and now he's becoming a Jedi. He was actually happy that this news meant he could be on the same side as Ahsoka and the other few Jedi women that caught his eye. However, he did have some conditions. I'm surprised by this news, masters, and I'm honored that you'd go out of your ways to do such a thing for me, but I do have a few demands. Naruto stated seriously. And what are your demands? Obi-Wan asked. 1. To not be restrained by the Jedi code. I may be made a Jedi, but I refuse to be limited to my full abilities. 2nd, to keep my lightsaber. And lastly, to meet with a certain senator to apologize for what happened on the Malevolence. Naruto stated with seriousness. The council members looked at each other before nodding in agreement. Very well, we will agree to your terms, Uzumaki, but we will decide upon Jedi Master to watch over you. Mace stated with his own seriousness, getting a nod from the blonde. Adjourned, this meeting is. Yoda said. As the masters left, the ones who agreed to make Naruto a Jedi passed him with smiles and congrats, while the ones that said otherwise mostly ignored him. Naruto didn't care though, because he knew it would take time before they came to like him, and he was determined to earn their respect over time. Ahsoka then walked over and lightly punched Naruto in the arm, getting his attention. Well, you had me worried there for minute Naruto. Ahsoka said, getting a chuckle from him. Yeah, you and me both. I thought that they would have tried to kill me for what I said, but you know what, it would have been worth it. As far as I'm concerned, someone needed to say something to the Jedi Council to open their eyes. Naruto said while rubbing his arm. True, but try to keep in mind that the council won't just change their ways from your words. Anakin said as they began to walk out. I see you know what I have in mind for the council, Master Skywalker. However, you do have a point. It will take more than just words to make them change their ways, but I'm willing to take as much time as possible to do just that. Naruto said, getting smiles from Ahsoka, Aayla, and even Anakin had to smile at the blonde's words. Well Naruto, I'm sure that if anyone can change the ways of the Jedi Order, it's you. Aayla said kindly. Don't get her wrong, she believes in the Jedi code very strongly, but after hearing the former Sith's words, she couldn't help but hope that he could change their ways. Not only because she feels something for him that she can't explain, but also because she doesn't want to lose anyone precious to her, like her former master or anyone else close to her. Thanks Master Sakura. Now, how do I get to the Senate building? Naruto asked before finding Ahsoka and Aayla on his arms and dragging him down the hall. Sorry Naruto, but if you're going to apologize to Senator Amidala and be walking among us Jedi, then you need to dress like one. Ahsoka stated as she and Aayla dragged him away, leaving Anakin to laugh. Well, I can tell that he's going to make things interesting around here. Anakin said as he walked away. Senate building. Hallway. Later, after Ahsoka and Aayla had gotten through with Naruto, he now wore new clothes. He replaced the red of his tunic with orange, but kept the black half of it and his black pants. He also replaced his black boots with brown ones that looked like Mace Windu's. He now wore clone trooper fingerless gloves and gauntlets, with a tribal fox head painted on each one. He also kept his mask, but left it off, saying that he would only wear it for missions that involved stealth. He, along with Anakin, Ahsoka, and Aayla, were currently walking down a hallway inside the Senate building. They were talking about some of the things that the Senate discussed, being it about making treaties between other worlds or peace between other planetary systems. Though, as they walked, neither Naruto or even Anakin noticed either Ahsoka or Aayla staring at Naruto's back as they walked. They thought he was even more handsome than before, but neither of them would ever admit that out loud. So, is Senator Amidala a reasonable woman? Cause if I'm ever on a mission with her in any way, I'd rather there not be any bad blood between us. Naruto asked, hoping that he and the senator can become friends, or at the very least bury the hatchet. She is, but I think it might take her some time to get used to being around a former Sith. Anakin answered, though he was going to watch Naruto and make sure he didn't do anything he didn't like. Relax Naruto, I'm sure she'll forgive you. After all, you were only following orders and she can't blame you for that. Ahsoka said as they stopped in front of a door. I hope you're right Ahsoka. The last thing I want is to have a senator treat me like a monster if I ever have to guard her on a mission. Naruto said with a sigh as he knocked on the door. When the door opened, they were met by a Rodian wearing a purple coat and green pants. He looked at Naruto before looking to the one Jedi he recognized, Anakin. Greetings Master Jedi, what brings you here? The Rodian asked kindly. Greetings Senator Farr, we're here because our friend Naruto wanted to speak with Senator Amidala about something important. Anakin answered as he gestured to Naruto, who nodded. I see, then please come in. Anaconda said as he let them inside the room. Padme, a Jedi named Naruto is here to speak to you. When Padme and a certain super pervert heard this name and turned to see said person walk inside, their eyes widened in shock, but for different reasons. When Naruto turned to her, his eyes widened in shock as well at the sight of Jiraiya among the senators. Hervey Sage. Naruto whispered. Naruto. Jiraiya whispered. They both stared at each other, neither noticing the other senators or Jedi in the room looking at them back and forth. They all were surprised when both of their eyes rolled up in the back of their heads before falling back on Kinsankus. Naruto Ahsoka said as she kneeled by his side. Lord Jiraiya Padme said as she and Bail Organa did the same as Ahsoka. A few minutes later, both men came to and saw that they were surrounded by both the Jedi and senators. They then looked at each other before their eyes widened and they jumped to their feet and pointed at each other. What the hell are you doing here Pervy Sage? Naruto yelled. I should be asking you that question idiot. Jiraiya yelled back. Everyone in the room watched in confusion until Padme spoke up. Do you two know each other? Padme asked, getting their attentions. Yeah, as a matter of fact, we do. Everyone, this is Naruto Uzumaki, a former shinobi from my world who was thought to be dead. Jiraiya answered, making everyone turn to Naruto. Yeah, and the old man here is the pervert who taught me the Rasengan you guys saw in the hologram back in the council chambers. Naruto said, ticking off Jiraiya. I told you idiot, I'm not a pervert, I'm a super pervert. Jiraiya yelled, making everyone in the room sweat drop. No offense Lord Jiraiya, but you just proved his point. Senator Ryochuchi stated, getting Naruto to turn to her. Thank you. At least someone agrees with me. Naruto said as he gave his foxy grin, making her blush. My, he's quite the handsome one. Ryo thought, but quickly shook that thought out of her mind. What am I saying, he's a Jedi. Everyone knows that Jedi can't form attachments or have romantic relationships. Still, he is handsome nonetheless. Whatever. So tell me Naruto, where have you been for the last 3 years? Jiraiya asked making Naruto sigh. Well, it's a very long story. You might want to sit down, this is going to take a while. Naruto said as he rubbed the back of his head. Man, this day is just one surprise after another. Naruto then sat on the seat behind him before speaking. It all started the day Sasuke left the village. Naruto began. After an hour, Naruto had finished speaking, and everyone were shocked to hear his story as to how he came to be the way he is now. In some parts of the story, the women in the room had to suppress their tears from hearing some of the training the blonde went through. The men on the hand were beyond outraged at what they heard. Naruto's training over the years involved him having to be forced to fight beast after beast of various species. Not only that, but whenever Naruto messed something up or said something that his master found disrespectful, he would shock him with force lightning to near death. In the end, everyone was surprised that the blonde came out of it unchanged or even without becoming like a Sith should. Hell, how he stayed sane was beyond them. Though, Naruto left out any parts that involved him using Kurama's chakra. He wasn't ready to tell anyone about that yet, but knew that Jiraiya knew about those parts and understood why he did it. Anyway, after that, the Jedi Council made me a Jedi an hour ago, and here we are. Naruto said ending his story. Well, that is quite the story Naruto. I must say, I couldn't possibly imagine anyone having to go through any of that. Aayla said as she placed a hand on his shoulder. Indeed. I can't even imagine the pain you went through just stay sane. I gotta say Naruto, I've heard heartbreaking stories before, but that one takes the cake. Jiraiya said sympathetically, but inside, wished he had killed Dooku when he had the chance that day when they met. Thanks, but I can't say that in the end it was all bad. After all, I wouldn't have seen the galaxy become as strong as I am now or met some very attractive women like Ahsoka or Aayla here. Naruto said, making both mention blush and Jiraiya grin while secretly grabbing his notebook and writing, God only knows what inside, while Naruto's eyes widened. Oh crap, did I really just say that last part out loud? What hell is wrong with me? Well kid, you might have a crush on those two hotties next to you. I got to say, I'm so proud that you gave me some very good inspiration. Jiraiya stated, making Naruto, Aayla, and Ashoka blush before glaring daggers at him. Inspiration for what, exactly? Aayla growled out. Yeah, and how are we involved? Ashoka asked with her own glare. If it's for what I think it is, pervy sage, I'm going to beat you to a bloody pulp. Naruto stated while cracking his knuckles. At this, everyone backed away from a sweating Jiraiya. After finishing his writing and putting away his notepad, Jiraiya stood up, took a deep breath, and ran like a bat out of hell as Naruto, Ashoka, and Aayla chased him down. Everyone watched with amusement at their antics and couldn't decide whether to help the old pervert or leave him to his fate. The next day, Naruto had received his first mission assignment. He was to aid Jedi Master Kit Fisto in the recapture of Nute Gunray, which he was more than willing to do in order to stick it to Count Dooku. Luckily, he managed to contact R4 and have him bring his stealth starfighter, to which he was currently in as he and Kit Fisto in his own starfighter came out of hyperspace in the Vasek system. R6 spoke to Kit as they flew over the planet's third moon, where they had traced a Republic ship's tracking beacon. I know we're in the middle of nowhere R6, but that's the Republic beacon we're looking for. Contact the Outer Rim Command. Kit said kindly, with R6 doing as told. R4, you do the same. Naruto said kindly, with R4 doing so without problems. Soon, the holographic forms of both Ashoka and Luminara appeared in front of Naruto and Kit. Master Luminara, we have tracked the location of our stolen ship to the Vasek system. Kit stated. So has your old Padawan Nader Veb. He's already on the surface. Luminara stated. It'll be great to see Nader again. Kit said happily. I'll transmit the coordinates for the rendezvous point. And Master Fisto, sorry we lost that slimy double dealer. Ashoka apologized. Hey, you nothing to be sorry about Ashoka. You chose to save me over going after him. You may have lost an enemy, but you gained an ally. Besides, if it wasn't for you, I'd be dead. Naruto stated, making Ashoka blush, not that he could tell. Indeed. Anyway, don't worry Ashoka, we'll catch Gunray yet. Kit said reassuringly. Good hunting you too. Ashoka said before cutting the transmission as Naruto and Kit flew towards the moon's surface. They flew through the foggy air around them for a bit before landing and exiting their respective starfighters. Man, I can't see a thing around me. Naruto said as he tried to look and see anything within a few yards, but only saw less than a few feet. Well, I can't see anything either. R6, keep a lookout here with R4. Kit said, getting beeps from the droids as he and Naruto walked toward a Republic shuttle with 3 clones and a cloaked figure that Naruto guessed was this Nader Veb. Haha, Nader. Kit called, getting everyone's attentions, while the cloaked Nader bowed. Congratulations on passing the trials. I'm sorry the war prevented me from seeing your training through to the end. You were missed master, but it is an honor to finally serve beside you, as a knight. Nader stated as he removed his hood before turning and giving Naruto a glare. You must be the Sith, Naruto Uzumaki. Former Sith, and yes I am. You must be Nader. Nice to meet you. Naruto said with a quick bow. General, we pinpointed the tracking beacon's location to the south end of the gorge. Clone Commander Phil said from nearby with 2 other clones as he pointed in said direction. Then let's have a look. Kit stated. Allow me to the way. Nader said as he turned around and used the force to move the fog, revealing a massive door. Whoa. That is one big door. The gates back in Konoha aren't even that big. Naruto said under his breath. Charming. Let's not keep the Viceroy waiting. Kit ordered, getting everyone to head toward the door. Niner, Bell, look after the ships. Phil ordered 2 of the clones. Yes, sir. The 2 said in unison. No guards, that's odd. Kit noted as they stood before the door. Yeah. No defense systems either. That's not normal if you're trying to hide from your enemies. Naruto said, having a bad feeling keep up his spine. The entrance looks sealed. Nader noted. We specialize in making entrances. Phil said as he pulled out a thermal detonator before Nader ignited his blue-bladed lightsaber. This will make less noise. Nader said as began to step up. Patience, the both of you. A second look usually pays off. Kit said as he looked at the door more closely before stopping on a stone. What's this? When he pressed the stone, a door opened and they went inside. As they're walking, a smell catches their attention, which Naruto, Kit, and Nader ignore. You smell that? Phil asked the clone behind him. Doesn't smell like droids to me. The clone stated. It's too dark to see anything. Another clone said before he and the other clone switched onto the headlights on their helmets. Is it just me or does this place give anyone else the creeps? Naruto asked. No, it creeps me out too. One of the clones stated. I sense there's something here. Kit said, feeling that something was not right about where they were. Scanners are negative, General. Phil said, looking at said scanner. Where? A loud roar echoed through the place, surprising everyone. Well, that was something. A clone said. Yeah, but I don't think that we want to stick around to find out what. Let's find Gunray and then get the hell out of here. Naruto ordered, getting nods from everyone. They soon come to a lit room and stand outside the door as they listen to Gunray's voice from inside. All droids stay on guard. Be ready for anything. Gunray orders. Roger, Roger. A battle droid acknowledged. It gave a signal for everyone to move in and got to the doorway. They saw a turn chair with Gunray obviously in it, speaking to several battle droids. Double shifts for everyone. Gunray ordered as Kit, Naruto, and Nodder walk calmly towards them, getting the droids' attentions. Viceroy. A droid said, trying to get Gunray's attention. You must protect me at all costs. Gunray stated. Viceroy, the Jedi are here. The droid stated. I know they're near. Once those Jedi pick up my trail they never leave me alone. Gunray stated as Kit, Nodder, and Naruto ignited their lightsabers. They're right behind you. The droid yelled. What? Where? Do something. You, blast them. Gunray ordered, getting the droids to step in front of them and start blasting. Naruto, Kit, and Nodder deflected shots fired at them while the clones fired from the safety of the doorway. Naruto jumped and cut a droid in half, while Nodder jumped over him cut down the last droid, before using the force to push what was left of it. I didn't forget to teach you restraint, did I, my old Padawan? Kit asked as he turned off his lightsaber. I am sorry, master. I got carried away. Nodder replied as he turned off his lightsaber. Those who have power should restrain themselves from using it. Kit stated. Wise words, Master Fisto, but there's another old saying. With great power comes great responsibility. Naruto said as he turned off his lightsaber as well before they walked toward Gunray. Lieutenant, did you them? Gunray asked. No, but we have you, Viceroy. Nodder said as he used the force to turn the chair around, only for them to come face to face with a hologram of Gunray. You have nothing, Jedi fools. I welcome you to your doom. Hahaha. Gunray laughed before ending the transmission. The tracking beacon, they knew we were coming. Nodder stated as he tossed said object in his hand. I should have known Gunray wasn't here. At the first sight of us, he would have run off screaming like the coward he is. Kit stated. Naruto was about to say something, but was cut off when a hologram of Dooku appeared, making both people's eyes widen at the sight of each other. Naruto. I thought you dead. Yet, here you are standing before me and with a Jedi no less. What is the meaning of this? Dooku asked with obvious anger. Oh? Ventress told you I died, huh? Well then, you're a foolish old man for thinking such things. Firstly, Ventress stabbed me and left me for dead. However, my life was saved by the Jedi and I become one of them, with some immunity. Second, give her a message for me. The next time I see her, I'm going to beat her ass into the ground. The same goes for you, Dooku, for all the pain and torture you put me through. Naruto stated, making Dooku sigh in irritation, knowing that Ventress would pay for her actions. Very well, boy. But if you and I should face off, I will destroy you. Now then, it's a shame you came so far to be frustrated. Well, the Viceroy is unavailable for capture, allow me to offer you an alternative prize. Dooku stated before ending the transmission, leaving behind a flashing red button on the chair arm. This has got to be a trap. Phil stated. It looks like Dooku is trying to catch someone and we are the bait. Kit suggested. But who has the trap been set to catch? Shall we find out? Nodder said as he pressed a button and a door opened to their left. They found themselves walking through a hallway before stopping at a door that opened to reveal a statue of a warrior holding a sword in one hand and a decapitated head in the other. They walked down further and stopped at another door that opened to reveal two statues of the same warrior, but with one having cybernetic changes to his arms, while the other hand the same changes, but with his arms and legs. Well, if that's not disturbing, I don't know what is. Naruto said, a little creeped out by the statues that looked familiar to him for some reason. This place looks like a shrine to that strange warrior. Kit noted before they continued walking. At the last door, they opened it and walked inside, but came to a stop at what they saw. Inside the room was body parts that belonged to none other than General Grievous. This is the lair of General Grievous. Kit stated in surprise. At this, Nodder turned and pointed an accusing finger at Naruto. You knew this was the lair of Grievous. You knew this was a trap the whole time, didn't you? Sith Amon Calamari Jedi yelled, surprising everyone around him. Nodder, that's enough. Naruto didn't know where we were. Kit said, trying to calm his old Padawan down. No, master. He knew about this the whole time. I knew you couldn't be trusted, Sith. Nodder yelled before finding the collar of his shirt in Naruto's strong grip, with said blonde glaring at him. Listen here, fishface, I didn't know a goddamn thing about this place. So don't you start accusing people of things they have no part in, you got that? Naruto yelled, letting Nodder go before Kit put a hand on both their shoulders. That's enough, Naruto, you've made your point. And Nodder, Naruto knew nothing about this place until now. So don't accuse him for this in any way. Now either you two learn to get along, or else Grievous will get the better of us when he returns. Kit stated before getting nods from them. Good. Now, let's continue looking around. They wandered around for a bit before coming to another room. Looking around, they guessed that it was the general's own personal trophy room. Nader walked over to a table that held various Padawan braids. These must be trophies taken from the Jedi he's murdered. There are so many. Nader said in silent anger. Naruto looked at him with sadness before turning back to the old lightsaber that he held in his hand with just as much sadness. So this is what that walking tin can is really like. A monster that kills Jedi for sport. That's the very thought of it sickens me. Naruto thought with anger at what the general does. Why would Dooku want to set a trap for his best general? It doesn't make sense. Kit questioned as he held an old lightsaber. Are we the bait or is Grievous the bait? Nader questioned. We must consider who this trap is for. Kit stated before a beep came from his communicator. General, yours and Uzumaki's droids are tracking an incoming ship. It matches the description of General Grievous's fighter. It's headed our way. Niner stated. Keep out of sight and stand by for further orders. Kit instructed, ending his transmission. Capturing Grievous could turn the tide of the war. Nader said in realization. And if he doesn't know we're here, we could take him down easy. Phil stated, pulling out one of his blaster pistols for emphasis. Don't underestimate him. We need a plan. Kit stated. Master Fisto is right. We can't just attack Grievous head-on, it's too risky. Naruto stated, getting an agreeing nod from said master. Outside, Grievous's ship appears and enters an opening inside the gorge. Grievous soon appears inside his lair. Guards. Gore. Where are you? Grievous called, only for Kit, Phil, and one clone to appear in front of him with their weapons ready. Looking behind him, he sees Nader and the other two clones, weapons ready as well. Welcome home, General. I'm afraid I must request your surrender. Kit stated. Unknown to Grievous, Naruto was overhead, ready to sneak attack him at any moment. Corporate Grievous and perhaps the Senate will be merciful. Kit ordered. It is you who shall get no mercy. Grievous said as he drew and ignited a blue and a green lightsaber in each hand. Kit and Nader slashed at him from both sides, only for Grievous to them before pulling out his other arms with two other lightsabers. At this, Naruto jumped down with his red lightsaber ignited, going for an overhead slash. Surprised, Grievous quickly blocked the strike with one blade and went for a slash with the other, making Naruto jump back. When Grievous saw him, he was surprised before glaring at the blonde. You're working with the Republic dogs, you traitor. Grievous yelled in anger. Better to be a Republic dog than a separatist murderer. Naruto yelled back. Brrr, fine then, Jedi. I'll enjoy killing you and taking your lightsaber as my own. It will be a first for me to use a red one. Grievous stated. Grievous pushed Kit and Nader off him before charging at Naruto. Naruto quickly blocked each slasher stab that was thrown at him, but was backed into a corner. Grievous lunged at him, but Naruto acted fast and jumped over his head and in behind him. Grievous quickly kicked Naruto away before blocking a slash from Kit. Cables. Kit yelled. The clones aimed and shot their gun cables at Grievous, getting him in the leggings. Grievous now started to between defending himself from the 3 Jedi and the cables preventing him from moving. He was about to cut the lines, only to be stopped by Naruto, Kit, and Nader attacking him from all sides. Don't let him cut the lines. Kit yelled as he spun around before cutting Grievous's legs off. Grievous tried to jump to the ceiling, but was pulled back down by the clones holding him. He then started crawling away, only to quickly draw his lightsaber and stop an attack from Nader. Don't make me destroy you. Nader yelled. Grievous spun his blade and tried to slash at Nader and Kit, only to have Naruto slash his lightsaber out of his hand. At this, he jumped to the ceiling and pulled one of the clones into his grasp, using him to knock Naruto, Kit, and the other two clones back. Come and get me. Grievous yelled tauntingly before turning and throwing the clone at Nader, knocking him to the ground. Grievous then fell to the floor with laugh before jumping to ceiling again, the clone's shots just grazing him and climbing away, Naruto, Kit, and a clone right behind him. Cut him off. Nader ordered the Phil and the other clones before running to join the others. As they all did this, 2 clones cornered Grievous, only to be attacked by him. When the others made it to where they were, the clones were dead and Grievous was out of sight. Where'd he go? Phil asked. The clones got in the way. I could have taken him. Nader said with irritation, making Naruto and Kit both glare at him. Hey, don't blame your men for Grievous getting away, this was no one's fault but our own. We had an advantage in numbers, but Grievous used that against us. If anything, we underestimated what he was capable of and it cost us. Naruto stated, making Nader look down in shame of his words. Let's take care of our wounded. Kit said, anger clear in his voice. Naruto is right though. We had an advantage in numbers, but not strategy. We'll have to come up with a better plan then. Grievous's lair. Command center. Grievous is seen climbing the ceiling into his lair's command center before landing at the controls. "Doctor, where are you?" Grievous called. Not too soon, an ever-repair droid appeared from a nearby doorway and walked over to Grievous. "Don't be upset with me, Master. If you were a better fighter, we would not be having this conversation," A4D stated, making Grievous groan. "Look what you let those Jedi do to you. You're a walking scrap pile, what a mess. It's going to take me forever to get you back into decent shape. I'll go fetch your spare parts." As A4D is walking off, Grievous follows him into the room he's in that held his Magna Guards on the ceiling. "What happened to my bodyguards?" Grievous asked. "They were remotely deactivated for recharge, I thought you did it," A4D replied. Grievous coughed before turning to a control panel and switching on his Magna Guards. "Lock down the perimeter," Grievous ordered. Grievous's lair. Hallway. Naruto, Kit, Phil, and the remaining clone are seen standing over Nader as he checks the other two clones' bodies. "Let me go after Grievous myself, Master," Nader asked angrily. "Patience, Nader. You may no longer be a Padawan, but you are not ready to take on Grievous. It's time we retreated," Kit stated, getting everyone to start running toward the exit. However, before they could make it, it closed shut before them. Looking back, they saw that the other exit door had also shut. "It looks like we're going to have to fight after all," Kit said grimly before turning to Phil. Outside Grievous's lair. Niner and Bell are seen watching the ships before Bell receives a transmission from Commander Phil. "Green Scout to Watcher Base," Phil contacted. "Copy, this is Watcher Base, over," Bell replied into his communicator. "Contact the fleet at Bestpin. Inform them we've engaged Grievous and require reinforcements," Phil ordered. "Right away, sir," Bell acknowledged before signing off and turning to Niner. "Better warm the shuttle's long-range transmitter." As they're walking inside the shuttle, they failed to notice the Magna Guards in the distance watching them before one lifted up and aimed a rocket launcher at the ship before firing and destroying the shuttle and clones inside. They then start to make their way over to Kit's and Naruto's starfighters, making R6 and R4 contact their ship pilots. "Get out of there, R6, now," Kit ordered. "You two R4. Get out there fast," Naruto ordered. Both droids activated the thrusters on the ships before taking off. However, a droid latched onto both their sides. R4 aimed the ship's third cannon at the droid and blasted it into nothingness before aiming at the one on R6 and doing the same, getting a thanks from the astromech as they flew off. Back inside Grievous's lair. R6. R6. Kit urgently yelled into his communicator, trying to contact his astromech droid. "R4, do you copy?" "R4. Damn it." Naruto yelled in anger at what happened to his astromech droid. Just then, a hologram of Grievous appeared in front of the group. "You've run out of time," Grievous said in obvious amusement. "Why don't you, Comrade General? Show us some of that separatist hospitality," Kit stated a little jokingly. "Yeah, what's the matter, Tin Man, scared?" Naruto quipped. "Patience. In the meantime, please experience all my home has to offer. It has been prepared for uninvited guests, like you," Grievous said threateningly before disappearing. "I have a bad feeling about this," Nader said ominously, making Naruto groan. "Man, you just had to jinx us, didn't you?" Naruto asked dryly. Just then, the floor dropped out from under them. Naruto, Kit and Nader jumped to safety, while Phil and the other clone plummeted toward a magma pit. Phil quickly pulled out his blaster and shot a cable into the ceiling, though the other clone wasn't so lucky. Nader grabbed the cable and started to help Phil up but was about to slip until Kit grabbed his hand with Naruto downing the same to Kit and pulling a panting Phil up to safety, while the Jedi panted as well. "And that was too close," Naruto panted out, not expecting that. "General, I know you're watching. We've seen the lower levels of your home. We're not impressed," Kit stated as he stood up. "Ahaha, good Jedi, good. You will provide some sport for me yet," Grievous said from an eye camera before having cut off by Naruto's red blade. Naruto, Kit, Nader and Phil then wandered down a hallway and came to a large area where they walked to the center and stood back to back with their weapons drawn. "Stand firm, there might be worse things here than Grievous," Kit ordered. None too soon, a door opened up, getting their attentions. "Looks like you're right about that, sir," Phil stated as he pointed his blaster pistol and armored Rogwart that Naruto guessed was Grievous's pet Gore. "Roar." Gore roared at them, making Phil fire at him, but only managed to tick him more. "Roar." While Phil fired at Gore from a good distance, Kit ran at him, only for Gore to knock his lightsaber out of his hand. The four then jumped back to avoid getting bitten, allowing Kit grab his lightsaber. Naruto, Kit, Nader and Phil then surrounded Gore from all sides. "Shoot him, Commander," Nader ordered, making Phil blast Gore a good bit, distracting the beast. At this, Naruto jumped up and stabbed Gore in the back while Naruto tried to get his neck but missed. Gore shook his body until he knocked the Mon Calamari off before turning his head and grabbing Naruto's arm by his teeth and throwing him into a wall, hard. Gore then started swinging his tail around until he grabbed Phil and brought him face to face with him. Gore then swung his tail and Phil at Naruto, knocking him down. Kit then ran at Gore and the beast turned its head to him, he slashed at his eye. Roar. Gore roared in pain, causing him to slam Phil to the ground, killing him instantly. Naruto then got back up and cut off Gore's tail, releasing Phil's body. Kit then cut off Gore's arms, while Naruto ran fast and cut off the beast's leg, causing Gore to fall to the ground, where Kit finished him off by stabbing him in the neck. "Nice job, Master Fisto," Naruto congratulated. "Thank Naruto. How's arm?" Kit asked in concern. "It's still on, so I'm fine. I'll admit though, that thing would have had my arm if it bit down any harder. Aside from that, I'm okay," Naruto answered. "That's good, but try not to get that close to a beast's head the next time you ever fight one. You just might lose more than an arm if you do," Kid warned as they walked over to Naruto, who held Phil's body. "Grievous is going to pay for this. I will destroy him," Naruto said as he clenched his fist in anger. "I understand your pain, but you forget your teachings, Naruto. Revenge is not the Jedi way," Kit scolded. "But in this war, strength prevails. The rules have changed," Naruto said with anger. "Perhaps you are the one who has changed," Kit said, making Naruto look down in shame. "Come now, we need to keep moving." As they walked, Naruto started speaking. "He's right, you know," Naruto stated, getting both other Jedi's attentions. "What do you mean?" Naruto asked. "That even though you're angry at what Grievous has done, you can't let your want for revenge cloud your mind. I faced a friend of mine who let that happen to him and because of this, he left my village to get strength and power from a man worse than Dooku," Naruto answered. "Why would he do that?" Kid asked. "To get revenge on his brother, to avenge his fallen clan. His name was Sasuke Uchiha and his brother's name was Itachi Uchiha. Itachi killed his whole clan in a single night. He killed men, women, and children. Even his own mother and father. However, he left his little brother Sasuke alive," Naruto answered, remembering Sasuke's history like his lightsaber. "I see. So the Sasuke Uchiha left your village and went to a criminal of said village to get stronger to avenge his clan by killing his brother. My, it sounds like a potential threat, but for now, we must worry about Grievous," Kit said as they walked and hid behind a corner. "You're right. I'll tell you more later, but now's not the time," Naruto said as a secret door opened and a fully repaired Grievous with his bodyguards walked out. Naruto, Kit and Naruto then snuck over and began unlocking the door, not knowing that A4D was watching them. They soon opened the door and began walking inside. "Master, the Jedi are about to enter the control room," A4D announced, making Grievous turn and run at them. "Naruto, inside, hurry," Kit said as he and Naruto stood in the doorway. "No, you go. I will hold them off," Naruto said, trying to buy them time. "There's no time to argue," Naruto said, trying to save Naruto from making a mistake. "We can't just run, we must finish him," Naruto argued back. "Naruto, hurry," Kit urged, only for the door to close before Naruto could get inside. "I have been waiting for this," Naruto said as he drew and ignited his lightsaber and got into his fighting stance. "Naruto," Kit yelled from the other side of the door. "Damn it," Naruto cursed as he tried to open the door but couldn't. Naruto charged in and blocked some strikes from a Magna Guard before cutting him in half. He used a force to lift the upper half up and threw it at the other Magna Guard that was approaching him, smashing him. He then dodged a strike from a third one before jumping and cutting him down the middle. He then turned to Grievous and his other two Magna Guards. "Greetings, young Jedi, where is your master and the separatist traitor?" Grievous asked as he drew his lightsabers. "Grievous's lair. Commander Center." "How exciting," A4D commented as he watched a screen showing Naruto and Grievous. "You will find out soon enough. You can't defeat us all," Naruto said confidently. "Of course I can," Grievous stated as he slashed at Naruto. "Let him, master, kill him." "Wait, where's the other two Jedi?" "Oh no," A4D said, just as the chair and his head were cut through by Kit with Naruto beside him. They watched as Naruto and Grievous traded blows, dodged slashes from each other before their blades clashed, making them try to overpower the other. Unfortunately, Grievous secretly used a third arm to grab a blaster pistol from behind his back and shoot Naruto, killing him. "No," Kit said as he sat in the seat in sadness at the loss of his old Padawan. Naruto said nothing as he looked at the screen before slamming his fist down on the controls, smashing a good amount of them. "Damn it. Damn that bastard," Naruto yelled in both sadness and anger. "If only I had been there, I could have helped him. I could have saved him, damn it. I will kill you all. Do you hear me, Jedi, do you hear me?" Grievous yelled at Naruto and Kit through camera. At that moment, R6 contacted Kit while R4 contacted Naruto, but he didn't answer. R6, is that you? Kit asked, getting a yes as a reply. You and R4 meet Naruto and I at the South Landing platform, we'll be right. I'm coming for you next, Fisto. As well as you, Uzumaki. Grievous yelled on screen. We'll be gone by the time you get here. Naruto stated as he ignited his lightsaber and stabbed it into the controls, shutting off the power in Grievous's lair before he and Kit left. Grievous's lair. South Landing platform. Naruto and Kit are seen walking on the platform, looking for their starfighters. R6, R4, we're at the platform. Where you? Kit asked into his communicator. However, Grievous appeared out from over the platform. Going somewhere? Grievous asked, making Naruto and Kit ignite their respective red and green lightsabers. They charged at Grievous, who easily blocked both of their blades with a laugh. They then jumped back and hid in the surrounding fog and switched off their blades, putting Grievous on guard. The general then started spinning his blades around himself, not noticing Kit and Naruto behind him. As they struck, Grievous blocked at the last second with all of his lightsabers. You might have been a proud warrior once, but now you're just a pawn in Dooku's game. Kit yelled as he and Naruto struggled to push Grievous back. I wield great power, Jedi fools. Grievous yelled before kicking Kit away and going for a slash at Naruto's head. The blonde dodged and cut off one of the general's hands, with Naruto grabbing the lighter that was no doubt Naruto's, and glared at Grievous. That power will only consume you. Naruto said as the red and blue lightsabers that he held revealed his blue but slitted eyes. Naruto then charged at Grievous, and they traded blows back and forth. Grievous, however, was having a hard time fighting the blonde as he didn't let the cyborg get a single chance to regain his balance. Looking from the corner of his eye, Naruto saw that Kit was fighting several Magnaguards. Thinking fast, Naruto used the force and threw Grievous over Kit and into the droids, smashing them. Kit looked back and gave the blonde a nod with Naruto doing the same. However, Grievous got back up with more of his droids showing up from out of nowhere, surrounding the two. How quickly power can change hands. Surrender and I promise you will die swiftly. Grievous stated as he ignited two green lightsabers. Naruto and Kit switched off their blades, making Grievous think that he's won, until R6 and R4 showed up behind them, making both Jedi smile. Stop them. Grievous ordered. The Magnaguards tried to hit Naruto and Kit, but they flipped over them and landed on their ships. As Kit started to fly off, Naruto nodded to R4 who fired the cannons and destroying the droids, while Grievous backed away while blocking shots fired at him before Naruto joined Kit and entered their beep pits and flew home. Later, Grievous is seen speaking with Dooku via hologram. Count Dooku, the Jedi have been defeated. Grievous said probably. Victory over the young Jedi was expected, but to best a Jedi master and a former Sith. This is truly an accomplishment worthy of recognition. Dooku stated with a sinister smile. The Kit Fisto and traitor Uzumaki escaped. Grievous admitted, making Dooku lose his smile and glare at him. So there is room for improvement. Dooku said before the hologram disappeared, making Grievous groan. Jedi Temple. Jedi Council Chambers. Naruto and Kit had just finished giving their mission report to Yoda and Mace as they stood in the council chambers. What about your former Padawan? Mace asked. His heart was in the right place, but he tried to answer Grievous's power with his own. Kit answered sadly with Naruto lowering his head in sadness beside him. To answer power with power, the Jedi way, this is not. In this war, a danger there is, of losing who we are. Yoda said wisely before turning to Naruto. Your fault, this is not Uzumaki. Did what you could, I'm sure you did. Thank you Master Yoda, but it doesn't change the fact that if I was there, I could have saved Naruto. If I knew Grievous was so powerful, I wouldn't have let such a thing happen. Naruto said sadly before Kit put a hand on his shoulder, getting his attention. It's okay Naruto. We all underestimated Grievous and for that we paid the price. However, I do think that you were getting through to Naruto, and for that I'm grateful. Kit stated, making Naruto smile. End chapter. So this part ends here. If you want to see next part of this series, like the video now and share the story with your friends. Bye bye.